Alright, everyone, quiet down, please. Jimmy, quiet. Okay. As you know, my name is Max Mutzken, you can just call me Max, and welcome to Super Earth History 101, where I will give you a crash course on the history of our great society. A history, but also talking about the values we uphold, the influences we've had on the galaxy, and the war we wage to make sure everyone is living in complete freedom and peace. Today's lecture is a bit shorter than my usual lectures, simply because I have a much bigger video coming that I've teased before about Dark Souls, but honestly, that video is taking a lot of work and I've been delayed a bunch of my video making process, and also I've been obsessed with Helldivers too, so today we're talking about that instead. The next video is coming probably next week or the week after. So to get the basics out of the way, you are all part of the great democratic intergalactic bastion that is Super Earth. First spreading to Mars in the early 21st century, we soon found ourselves soaring across the entire galaxy by the end of it. Soon into the 21st century, the leaders of Earth realized the major flaws in the democratic system and changed it for a better way, managed democracy. Earth used to be a political wasteland. People could just vote on whatever people they wanted, even though they didn't really know what those people stood for. And of course, people lied. People often just said the things people wanted to hear to get re-elected. That is what managed democracy fixes. Instead of voting on particular people, each citizen is given a series of questions which they answer, and based on those answers, an AI will vote for them. It takes the hassle out of political campaigns and removes the division that they create, and allows us all to unite for the future. The only limit in our galactic expansion was our own imagination. That was until we encountered the Terminids, a foul hive mind of massive bug creatures infecting every planet they came across with their presence. When the Terminids found out about our expansion across the galaxy, they declared war. A war which in no way was instigated by Super Earth. It's a good thing those Terminids turned out to be made of pretty valuable stuff. A lot of the war effort was able to be fueled by the oil produced from the carcasses of these Terminids that were slain. Their worlds are filled with valuable resources, their bodies fuel our ships. But above all, every bug killed is another bug liberated from their central hive mind. If you look on a map, it's the northeastern corner of the galaxy that is infected by the Terminids. And we thought those were the only threats in the galaxy. That was until we learned of another race hostile to Super Earth in the northwest. A race of sentient socialist cyborgs rose up in the northwestern corner of the galaxy. They attacked many of Super Earth's colonies, forcing us to defend them. These automatons use cruel weaponry, such as laser cannons and rockets, to get one over on us, using surprise attacks to take over the galaxy for themselves. Now you may well know that our military is top-notch, the best in the galaxy, but when you're dealing with elite enemies such as these, you need elite troops. Enter the Helldivers, the best of the best when it comes to Super Earth's military forces. These warriors undergo a special, intense training to fend off any enemy thrown at them. Entering their hellpods, they are shot straight into enemy territory, where they complete objectives for Super Earth High Command in less than an hour, even if it costs them their lives. Those who abandon their posts are traitors. Those who come back are champions of war, as it is meant to be. After the war broke out between the automatons, Super Earth, and the Terminids, another alien race was discovered, much more ancient than the other two. These aliens, known as the Illuminate, were in possession of weapons of mass destruction. Feeling rightfully threatened by these weapons, Super Earth High Command decided to strike first to protect themselves from these weapons of mass destruction. The Illuminate fought fiercely, being some of the most dangerous foes to be found in the galaxy, yet our warriors fought them nonetheless, and won. 100 years ago, the Galactic campaign included many different wars, the vast majority of which resulted in glorious victory for Super Earth. Now, 100 years later, the Terminids have taken over several of Super Earth's colonies once again, the automatons are stirring, and the Illuminate are nowhere to be seen. Join up today, my dear soldier, and become a Helldiver. Fight alongside your brothers and sisters for liberty, freedom, and democracy. Alright, everyone, let's take a little break. Be back in 5. Are they gone? Okay, listen. I don't know if you've noticed, but it seems like the real fascists here are Super Earth High Command. Don't tell anyone I told you this, but have you ever heard of this little adaptation of a book, a film called Starship Troopers? Let's talk about it for a little bit. Starship Troopers is a movie which the Helldivers franchise is heavily inspired by. Starship Troopers doesn't have bots, but it is about this human society which is stuck in a perpetual war against bugs, which their leaders never seem to want to end because they want to keep their people oppressed by convincing them that the war is the most important thing. When the movie came out, and even still today, a bunch of people complained that it was just a bunch of fascist propaganda, because comedy is dead and satire is a lie created by those damn communist Twitter automatons. The movie surrounds a trio of characters which are introduced into this society and are slowly molded from the very beginning, where they start out in school to become soldiers and fight in this everlasting intergalactic war. All of them go into battle believing the propaganda that has been spread, thinking it will be glorious, only to be horrified by the realities of war. Two of them experience the horrors of war, losing the ones they love, and becoming mindless soldiers with nothing to lose but their lives, and one of them becomes a non-specific word for a German soldier. Please don't kill me, Susan. Look at this. That is Neil Patrick Harris in a non-specific word for a German soldier outfit. So yeah, the movie is above all else a blatant satire and critique of fascist ideology, but if you look very closely, there's a little bit of critique about the American patriotism in there as well, which is also very prevalent in Helldivers 2. So yeah, Helldivers 1 and 2 put us in the position of a soldier who is stuck in a society like this, except Helldivers 2 takes a lot more of the comedic route that Starship Troopers does.
No! Sweet liberty! No!
Oh, welcome back, class. Let's continue. Let's talk gameplay. When I said you should join up and fight in this war, I wasn't kidding. This is one of, if not the best extraction shooter ever made. This game is fully PvE. Friendly fire is on, which can lead to some good shenanigans, but it does mean that the entire community is fighting against the same enemy, which makes them work together pretty well, actually. When I do mean work together, the way Helldivers works is there is a galactic war going on currently between Super Earth and the automatons and Terminids. Each successful operation performed by squads or solo players even causes the galactic war efforts to progress. Planets are slowly liberated or defended with each successful operation. Think of the Galactic campaign as a massive game of Dungeons & Dragons or Warhammer 40k, with the developers being the game masters. Depending on the actions of the soldiers spread across the galaxy, the game masters may change the face of the galactic war. For example, they may have the enemy attack certain planets, they may have certain effects take place on different planets, like for example a rainstorm can suddenly occur on a planet which will decrease visibility, and these effects are applied live. I've seen live in-game a dev suddenly turn on a thing that made people's stratagems take twice as long to deploy. What's a stratagem? Well, let's get into how missions work out. So, there are operations and there are missions. To further the liberation of a planet, an operation has to be fully completed, and an operation is made up of different missions. The variety in these missions is actually pretty big, from escorting some citizens to safety to launching a nuke. Depending on the difficulty you're playing on, the amount of missions required to complete an operation increase, but of course the rewards you get from completing those missions increase as well. Before you dive down to the planet to complete your mission, you are able to choose your equipment: a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, a grenade, and your stratagems. See the stratagems as sort of support you get from your spaceship while you are playing. There are 4 types of stratagems. The first one is the general support ones, such as reinforcements or resupplies. The second one is orbital strikes, where you have these massive cannons like laser beams or bombs that are dropped from your battleship. The third one are turrets, which are just automatic turrets which fire at the enemy, and the fourth ones are your support weapons. There is a fourth type of weapon besides your primary, secondary, and grenade called the support weapon. These have to always be dropped as one of your stratagems when you land on the mission. You can't just take those with you from the beginning. The support weapons are often the more damaging ones, but they are also pretty costly on the ammo side. When you've landed, you have the main objective, but you also have a bunch of side objectives and small points of interest to explore, and there is of course a bunch of nests or factories to close depending on who you're fighting. And then lastly, after you've completed the main objective, there is the extraction. Yes, the extraction is optional. Once you've done your work, you can die proud, knowing you've done your work for Super Earth. Completing a mission grants you experience and requisition slips, one of the main currencies used in Helldivers 2. The requisition slips are used to unlock new stratagems. The other 3 currencies are medals, super credits, and samples. Medals are earned through completing missions, and they are used to unlock new weapons and new outfits in the game's war bonds, which are kind of like battle pass. You have the standard one, which is free, and then you also unlock a premium one, which costs 1000 super credits. The super credits are the game's premium currency, and this has led to some people calling the game pay to win, as some of the weapons are locked behind the premium war bond. This, however, is entirely not the case. While yes, you can pay real money to unlock these war bonds faster, to earn super credits faster, You can also find a lot of these super credits by playing the game. By repeating easy missions, you can pretty easily rack up enough super credits to buy the premium war bond. Also, each page of the free war bond has some super credits for you to unlock, so that it makes it even faster for you to get the premium one. The war bonds also last forever. They don't go away like a Fortnite battle pass, for example, so you have enough time to unlock everything after a while. Lastly, there are samples. These can be found throughout missions, and you have to successfully extract with them to actually take them home. If you die while holding samples, make sure you or a fellow Helldiver goes back and picks them up again. There are 3 different rarities of samples, and if you want the rarer samples, you have to play on higher difficulties. These samples are used to upgrade your battleship, which generally results in better stratagems. They make them harder, better, faster, and stronger. Use all tools at your disposal to further our glorious progress in this galactic conflict so that one day liberty, freedom, and democracy may be present all throughout the galaxy. So that's the main gist of Helldivers 2. Make sure to grab a military pamphlet on the way out. Sign up today to get some respect and glory. I've been Max Mutzkin, and I have to get out of here before they label me a traitor and send me to a freedom camp. As a little bit of an update, this video was made because, one, the Dark Souls video is taking a little bit longer than expected, and also I've been obsessed with Helldivers for the past 2 weeks. So, you know, had to get that out of my system. Now on to the Dark Souls video, which is probably coming out next week or the week after. Be sure to look out for that. Thank you for watching. Have a very, very, very lovely evening.